coming to $5 trillion economy. I mean, it sounds like a crazy, insanely large number. $5 trillion, you know, sometimes it takes you a little bit of time to even figure out $5 trillion hota kitna hai. I mean, how many lakh crores is it? I mean, what are we talking about? You know, $5 trillion, just to give you some sense of it, $5 trillion is almost equal to something in rupee terms, almost like 450 lakh crore, 450 lakh crore. It is a mind-boggling figure. उसको calculate करने बैठे तो भी you know project की तरह 15-20 मिनट लगेगा to figure out कि ये कितना होता है 450 lakh crore. But anyway, that said, for the ones who don't know me, my introduction to equities happened when I was almost 8 or 10 years old. My father used to fill up these checks and he used to tell me go bank them. And when I used to go and bank them, I used to figure कि कौन लोग हैं जो पापा को पैसे दे रहे हैं. You know, कोई ग्रासिम था, कोई ब्रिटानिया था, कोई टाटा ऑयल मिल्स था, समझ में नहीं आ रहा था. Later on, many years later, I figured that, you know, he was working on his business, but at the same time, he was investing in other people's businesses also. And that sowed the seeds of how to invest in equities and wealth creation through this equity route into me many years ago. So, as such, I've been watching the equity markets for about 30 odd years, managing the family wealth, almost about 20 years professionally doing this, just like my colleagues Chetan and Himanshu. So, moving on, $5 trillion economy, ये क्या करेगा हमारे और आपके लिए? What does this mean? What do we expect? So, I'd like you sync with this little number that I've played here. Is it visible to you all the way to the end? Is it clear? This is what I think. You know, these are numbers which sometimes are crazy when we talk about in terms of projection. But what we are going to take you through today in the next 20-25 minutes is about 7 reasons why I think this is a possibility. And there is some very interesting data and there's some very interesting things that are happening in our country. Like Girish bhai said, इतना कुछ हो रहा है, सुबह कुछ होता है, शाम को कुछ और हो जाता है, और पता भी नहीं चलता. I cannot tell you that this is probably the best time to be alive in India. This is probably the best time that you don't want to bet on anything in this world other than India. And this is the time that you cannot be more proud about your country than what you are living in this time today. I wish I was 20 years younger to be able to enjoy this journey for the next 20 or 30 years. But let's go to this. Let's figure out what's happening. Why is the number one reason because of which we feel that something like that can happen for us? The environment. You know, कहीं पे भी कोई भी चीज में we need to know the background कि हमारे देश में exactly हो क्या रहा है. मतलब मैं जब सोचने बैठा तो इतनी सारी चीज थी, ये ऑरेंज सेक्शन थोड़ा कम पड़ रहा था, but I tried to put some very important keywords. It's insane. क्या होता है? We are seeing capital expenditure. मतलब the government is saying, come manufacture in India, capital expenditure करो, मतलब खर्चा करो, प्रोडक्शन बढ़ाओ, प्रोडक्शन लगाओ. मारुति कहता है कि हर 4 साल में एक नया प्लांट लगाना पड़ेगा, इतने सारे लोगों को गाड़ियां चाहिए. There is so much of demand. So क्या होता है कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर से? When somebody makes a investment into a factory or a manufacturing unit, उसके बाद में क्या होता है? हजारों लाखों लोगों को एम्प्लॉयमेंट मिलता है. उस एम्प्लॉयमेंट का वो क्या करते हैं? उसमें से वो इनकम कमाते हैं, अपना खर्चा करते हैं, बट उनके पास सेविंग्स भी बढ़ जाते हैं. दे सेव मनी आउट ऑफ दैट, कंज्यूम करते हैं. उससे क्या होता है? गवर्नमेंट को टैक्स रिटर्न्स मिलता है. बट गवर्नमेंट, इट्स अमेजिंग, गवर्नमेंट ने पिछले 5-7 सालों में क्या किया? यू नो हाउ मेनी सोर्सेज ऑफ रेवेन्यू द गवर्नमेंट हैज. See, we earn about 30 lakh crores. 30 लाख करोड़ गवर्नमेंट की लगभग आमदनी है. 18 लाख करोड़ आता है जीएसटी से और 12 लाख आता है हमारे पर्सनल इनकम टैक्स और डायरेक्ट टैक्सेस से. बट लुक एट द गवर्नमेंट सोर्सेज ऑफ इनकम. They have GST, they have Jandan by which they are controlling the benefit transfer, they have Aadhaar, they have RERA as a source of revenue, capital gains पे tax लगा दिया, now that is a source of revenue. Demonetization कर दिया था. There are lots of positives and negatives of that, but that has also helped them control a lot of things. So there are multiple sources of income. जो कहते हैं हम कि हमारे पास multiple sources होनी चाहिए, today the government is also smart. उसने भी अपने लिए multiple sources of income बना लिए हैं. And it's crazy. What is happening as a result of this? We are investing heavily into infrastructure. I mean, if you're following the Bharatmala and the Sagarmala projects, these are crazy projects. 1300 किलोमीटर का लंबा रेलवे ब्रिज, चेनाब ब्रिज जो बनाया है. We are making the Mumbai Trans-Harbour, link between Mumbai and the, across Wadala. There are so many such projects happening. हम कहते हैं कि, यूक्रेन में वॉर चल रहा है, फेड ने ये कर दिया, इसने वो कर दिया. Forget it, 20 देशों में तो वॉर चल रहा है, हमारे 200 इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर प्रोजेक्ट्स चल रहे हैं हमारे अपने देश में. and which we forget to see. We forget the larger picture. But think about it. Infrastructure, pharma, metals, commodities, in a talk of stock market and a talk of investments, everybody wants to know what's the next big investment. These are your next big investments. These are the themes: infrastructure, pharma, metals, commodities, power, banking, and FMCG. We have not even begun. And I'll show you why we have not even begun. This is reason number 2, why we think we are going to go to 2 lakhs. This, what I have shown you, is the last 40 years of the Bombay Stock Exchange. Can you see this Bombay Stock Exchange chart? This is from 1980. The value was approximately 100. I don't know if you can see the chart all the way, but all of you have the screens in front of you. Right, let me just check. Screen mein, if you can see, there's a faint line, that is the chart. Piche, you see a thick blue line. This thick blue line is nothing but the trend. So what we have done is, ये पूरा सेंसेक्स है, सेंसेक्स के बीच में से हमने बिल्कुल बीचों बीच एक लाइन बनाई है और पहले हमने कैलकुलेट किया. जब 1980 में इंडेक्स का वैल्यू 100 था, 100 के करीब था, और आज कितना है आपको सबको पता है ना. yesterday तो we touched a 52 week high, 61,000 something, right? So that gives you a compounded return of 17.5% in the last 40 years. So if I keep drawing this trend, see where I'm reaching, 206,059, 2,06,000, and I'm reaching that on the date of 1st April 2030. So this is reason number 2 why the trend is showing us that a long-term trend, this is the direction. Okay? But we don't only believe in trends, right? We believe in something called compounding also. Everyone knows this man. Some of the greatest inventions that he did in his life was to derive the compound interest. अब compound interest क्या बोलता है? That चक्रवर्ती ब्याज, everybody knows that, right? You have 100 rupees, you invested at 10%, 110 मिलेगा next year, 110 पे वापस 10% मिलेगा, and so on and so forth. It moves that way, right? So there is something very interesting here. We have something called the rule of 72. ये finance के दुनिया में एक बहुत बड़ा interesting concept है. You can do it on your pen and paper right now. You can take a picture also, by the way, if you like. Rule of 72 ये simple चीज है. ये क्या कहता है कि जो भी आप interest rate कमा रहे हो, for example, you are earning 10% on your investment. 72 divided by 10. Answer आया 7. That means your investment will take 7 years to double. Very simple. Is everyone with me? समझ आ रहा है? Okay, so very simple, right? So what we are saying is, March 2020 में Bombay Stock Exchange made a high of 42,000. अगर मैं 5 साल का doubling वाला rule use करूं, and doubling में I am only assuming 15%, so 72 divided by 15, so I get the answer of approximately 5, 4.8, 4.9. ठीक है? So 42,000 से 5 साल में double हो जाएगा 84,000, 84,000 से double होके 168,000. By the rule of compounding, right? In the same way, अगर मैं low price को भी देखूं 12,500 का, sorry, this is NSE 12,500 था, तो NSE 50,000. Anyway, we'll focus on the blue numbers. अगर हम March 2020 यानी कि कोविड का जो बॉटम था वो देखें तो 25,000 के करीब was the Sensex. अगर वहां से मल्टीप्लाई करो तो 1 लाख आता है. What does this mean? That by 2030, what is the range? 1 lakh on the lower side, 1,68,000 on the higher side. Okay? Stay with this number. Just for your convenience, if you want, you can take a picture of this thing. It's an amazing thing. What it says is that as the years pass by, how your money doubles. So this is the same rule of 72 at 15%. In 20 years time, 1 lakh रुपया 16 लाख बन जाएगा और 1 लाख रुपया 32 लाख बन जाएगा in 25 years. That's what it is saying. For some of you who are doing SIPs, the same law applies. We are just taking an SIP example of 1 lakh. 25 साल में, every year you've been investing 1 lakh. Say you've invested 3 crores, value is 27 crores. So far so good. Compounding. Okay. This is one slide by which I can talk to you for the whole day. You have the slides in front of you. This was a great research done by Morgan Stanley. My suggestion is take a picture of this. This is insane. मैंने ये स्लाइड पे ये प्रेजेंटेशन बनाते हुए 3 घंटा स्पेंड किया. जस्ट कैलकुलेशन करते हुए. यहाँ पे कोई कैलकुलेशन दिखाया नहीं है. बट लेट मी एक्सप्लेन टू यू. यू नो, विजुअली आप देखो. ये है भारत अभी. दिस इज इंडिया नाउ. डज इट लुक लाइक अ ट्राइंगल टू यू? एक ट्राइंगल जैसे दिखाई दे रहा है? इंडिया इन 2030, जस्ट सी व्हाट इज हैपनिंग. ये ट्राइंगल उल्टा हो गया. इट्स गॉन अपसाइड डाउन. यू नो व्हाट दैट मीन्स? The people who are earning less than $5,000, $5,000 is what, 4 lakh rupees a year. It is almost 40% of the current population or the earning population, let's put it this way. Now, how many earning population are there? This is in terms of households. कितने घर हैं? यानी कि हमारे घर, we are included in this. This is about 30 crore households in the country. 30 करोड़ घर हैं हमारे देश में who are earning, and उसमें से about 50% of them are earning less than 4 lakhs a year. Okay, just stay with these numbers. Okay, what is happening now? Currently, 2% of these people, 2% मतलब सी हिंदुस्तान में आज लगभग 7 करोड़ रिटर्न्स फाइल होते हैं. पिछले साल लगभग 6 करोड़ हुआ था. 7 करोड़ रिटर्न्स फाइल होते हैं. ये 7 करोड़ रिटर्न्स में से 90% रिटर्न्स आर बिलो 10 लाख ऑफ इनकम. तो बचा कितना? Is barely about 60-70 lakhs. 60-70 lakhs includes all of you. So this 60-70 lakhs are contributing to the income tax contribution to the government, and we are running the country in some sense. Along with the corporate tax that we pay from our companies, and along with the GST that the whole country pays. 60 lakh people are paying about 6 lakh crores of income tax, right? Watch. Look at what's happening in 2030. 7%, number of households will move up from 30 crores to 36 crores. 36 crores का 7% कितना हुआ? Good morning. So, from about 60 lakhs, about 2 crores, 2 crore households are going to earn more than $35,000. $35,000 multiply mota by 8 is almost 27-28 lakh rupees. And I just said 2 minutes ago, 10%, which is 60 lakh people are filing returns about 10 lakhs. We are going to have 2 crore people who are going to file returns about 28 lakhs. I cannot even, मतलब दिमाग खराब हो गया, I could not even calculate कि index कहाँ तक जाएगा. See, today, if you are earning 1 lakh rupees, and you are spending 80,000 rupees, take it as an example. तो हमारे पास 20,000 बचता है, that is 20%, and that is what we are saving and using for our investments and portfolio and everything else. 10 years later, if my income goes up from 1 lakh to 2 lakhs, I'm not going to spend 1,60,000 for my expenditure. My expenditure will go marginally. As Indians, we don't overspend, right? We keep money for ourselves. We were just talking about how to spend. So, but even when we have to spend, we think. So, expenses might move up from 80% or 80,000 to maybe 1 lakh, 1,20,000. Our saving potential will become much larger. Do you see? आज 1 लाख का income है, 20% I'm saving. अगले 10 सालों में I will earn 2 lakhs, but I will probably be saving 50% of that money. And like that, imagine if there are thousands and thousands and crores of people who are doing this. Look at the last point. The people who are earning less than 4 lakhs, they will be only 13%. यानी कि ये पूरा triangle उल्टा हो गया. It's crazy. I did not know where to stop making calculations. This is probably one of the most important slides which is showing the direction of our country. Look at what is happening here. Average, well, you know, whatever is your income, suppose we take the income of all the people in India and divide by the number of people, we get in dollars कि हमारा income लगभग $2,200 है. 10 years later, we are going to be somewhere around $5,500. लगता है बहुत छोटा, but if you start putting it across the households and you start making all that calculation, तो I don't know, 2 lakh or 8 lakh, or I don't know where the Sensex will be. Because इतने सारे लोग होंगे, इतने सारे लोग मारुति खरीदेंगे. Today, you know the waiting period for any of these cars if you've gone to book a car. It's crazy. Airports are looking like railway stations and worse. And every now and then we are having new airports. अभी Bangalore का Terminal 2 शुरू हो रहा है. And we thought it was such a huge airport. There is no end to it. We are having another airport in, in Navi Mumbai, aren't we? So the amount of infrastructure happening is crazy. Now let me show you another interesting, amazing stuff. Do you want to become an expert at the stock market? You want to know which is the best time to invest and which is the best time to, sell off? Everyone wants to. Best time to sell off is never. Okay? Best time to invest. Okay, watch this. What is this in front of you? ये है हमारा GDP. अच्छा, GDP सबको पता है? हमारी जो इनकम है, मेरी इनकम, इनकी इनकम, इनकी इनकम, आपकी इनकम, सबकी इनकम अगर जोड़ दे तो देश की इनकम बन जाएगी। ग्रॉस डोमेस्टिक प्रोडक्ट ऑफ द कंट्री, ऑल कंपनीज, ऑल इंडिविजुअल, सबका मिला दो, जीडीपी ऑफ द कंट्री, या जीडीपी ऑफ आवर कंट्री। I made it simple. This is 36 lakh crores, etc., etc. It goes on. Green column is your GDP. Market cap. Market cap क्या होता है? For example, आपके पास आज 100 शेयर रिलायंस के हैं, 2700 का भाव है, तो बेसिकली उसका वैल्यू कितना हो गया? 2,70,000 रुपया, 2,70,000, right? So suppose you had only Reliance in your portfolio, then that is your portfolio value of 2.7. Now, जितने भी लोगों के पास रिलायंस है, add up everything, तो रिलायंस का एक मार्केट वैल्यू बन जाएगा। ओके, सॉरी, मार्केट कैप बन जाएगा। सो दैट इज मार्केट कैपिटलाइजेशन। वैसे ही जितने भी लिस्टेड सिक्योरिटीज है हमारे स्टॉक एक्सचेंज पे, सबको मिला दो तो वी गेट द मार्केट कैपिटलाइजेशन। जस्ट मेकिंग इट वेरी सिंपल सो दैट यू आर एबल टू अप्रिशिएट व्हाट इज हैपनिंग। ओके, मार्केट कैपिटलाइजेशन फॉलोज द जीडीपी। जैसे जैसे जीडीपी बढ़ता है, मार्केट कैपिटलाइजेशन बढ़ता है। वेरी सिंपल। अच्छा, वॉरेन बुफे के बारे में सुना है सबने? सबने सुना है, ग्रेटेस्ट इन्वेस्टर ऑफ द वर्ल्ड। दिस इज हिज रेशियो, मार्केट कैप डिवाइडेड बाय जीडीपी। ये सारे फिगर्स गूगल पे मिलते हैं फ्री में। ओके, वेरी सिंपल। व्हाट यू हैव टू डू, 36 डिवाइड बाय 4, मार्केट कैप डिवाइडेड बाय 36, सो यू गेट 0.44. So wherever you see these red marked blocks, what that means is the ratio should be somewhere near 1. 1 is like a fair value. Okay, so 1 तो अभी हो रहा है. Generally our Indian market has always been below 1. Look at it. It's crazy. So in a year 0.45 कब हुआ था? 2009. 2009 में you all know housing crash हुआ था, फिर market down हो गया था. That was the time to invest, sell everything you have, even take a loan and invest in the stock market. That was the time. Look at the ratio, 0.45. Look at the ratio in 2050. Whenever the ratio is low, abhi ho gaya tha. See, in 2020, obviously you all know because of COVID, right? This is insane. Very easy to find out what is the lowest bottom point of the market. Now, this is the crux of it. $5 trillion. This is the heart of today's my work or my talk today. Okay, look at this. This is insane. I have shown here कि जब हमारा $1 trillion का जीडीपी था, ओके, ये थोड़ा उर्दू जैसा है, हम लोग उल्टा पढ़ेंगे इसको, ओके, वी विल नॉट कम फ्रॉम लेफ्ट टू राइट, बट विल गो फ्रॉम राइट टू लेफ्ट, ओके. सो यू कैन सी दैट दिस वाज 0.94, ऑलमोस्ट $1 trillion. टेक अ पिक्चर इफ यू वांट टू एंड सेटल डाउन. You need to sit down, take a deep breath and listen to what I'm going to say. Okay? I'll pause for a minute. Let you all take a photograph. Let you all absorb it. 1 trillion in the year 2006, we reached 1 trillion. GDP was 43 and market cap was 24. Okay. And the BSE index was 11,000 something. Okay. Now, जब हमने इंडियन इकोनॉमी में 1 ट्रिलियन और जोड़ा, तब क्या हुआ? मार्केट जीडीपी तो ऊपर गया. लुक एट व्हाट हैपेंड टू मार्केट कैप. 24 से 64, ऑलमोस्ट 3 times. ऑलमोस्ट 3 times, राइट? जब हमने जीडीपी मूव्स एट इट्स ओन पेस, मार्केट कैप फॉलोज द जीडीपी. गॉट इट? सो एंड एज लॉन्ग एज द मार्केट कैप इज बिलो द जीडीपी, इट्स ऑलवेज अ गुड बाय सिचुएशन. और जितना लोअर रेशियो मिलेगा, जस्ट लाइक आई शोड, इज अ बेटर टाइम. 2 ट्रिलियन. जब हमने 3 ट्रिलियन जोड़ दिया, लुक एट व्हाट हैपेंड टू द मार्केट कैप. 64 से 195, अगेन 3 times. Are you seeing what's happening? And it is still not crossed the GDP. GDP तो 236 था. रेड जो है वो हो चुका है, ग्रीन जो है वो होने वाला है. Okay? So can you see 190, 64 से 195, again 3 times हो गया, 236. Okay. Now what we do is we go forward. We make a projection. Projection कितने पे गया? 5%. How many believe that 5% पे हमारा देश चलेगा? मतलब कम ऑन यार, 5% पे तो चल ही जाएगा ना. अगर राहुल गांधी भी कोई भी आ गया तो 5% तो. See, by the way, government doesn't affect anything. Okay, whichever government it is, irrespective. It is the business environment. See, the government, whichever government comes in, they cannot reverse all the policy measures. अगर for example we have done capital gains, somebody can't just reverse it. आज अगर insurance tax free है, somebody can't reverse it. जो आगे होगा वो होगा. अगर फॉर एग्जाम्पल आधार इंप्लीमेंट कर दिया था तो नोबडी इज गोइंग टू से बैड आइडिया, मिस्टेक हो गया, वापस रिवर्स करो इसको, डायरेक्ट बेनिफिट ट्रांसफर नहीं देना है, यू नो. सो इरिस्पेक्टिव ऑफ गवर्नमेंट पॉलिसी, the world goes on, business goes on, business कारोबार चलता रहता है. Okay, so let me go back. What does this mean? जब सिर्फ मैंने 5% का ग्रोथ अज्यूम किया है, we think we'll do 8-9%. Yes, come on यार, we are all Indians. 8% तो मतलब we should celebrate. Possible? तो अगर 5% से चले तो 4 ट्रिलियन हो जाएगा, यानी कि एक और ट्रिलियन हम जोड़ेंगे. Okay, I am not saying that the market capital will go 3 times. See, market cap 195 था पहले, तो यहाँ पे it was going 3 times. I am not saying it'll go 3 times. I'm being conservative. I'm saying 2 बार जाएगा. So I have just multiplied this by 2. 391 lakh crores. What does that mean on the BSE Sensex? 99,000. So 100,000 तो confirm हो गया. See, timing we don't know. It could be 24, could be 25, could be 27. That depends. कल को if there is something else that happens, like another COVID or some other antigen comes, कुछ अगर natural catastrophe हो गया, climate कुछ issue हो गया, we don't know. But this is what mathematics is saying. Okay? Same way, when we reach 5 trillion, the time is 2030. So this is the most logical, the most concrete calculation based on the data that we have. Data ये दिखा रहा है that if we add another trillion by 2030 at just a 5%, what is happening to the market cap? We are again multiplying by 2. And therefore, the index is standing at 1,99,474. Say about 2 lakhs. क्या बिक रहा है, क्या चल रहा है? Look at it. These are ideas of portfolio managers and these are ideas of small cases. क्या चल रहा है? Capital goods चल रहा है, Travel India चल रहा है. Travel India मतलब होटल में तो look at the boom that is happening in hotel. जगह नहीं मिलती. Airports packed, flights packed. They're going full. I mean, it's not vengeance traveling. That part is over. But it is actually consumption and expenditure happening. There are so many more people in the system. There are so many more people spending so much more money. Look at what's happening. Pharmacy, best of home. Look, this is just launched. This one has just got launched on 19/10/22, 19 October को. Look at the trends. This tells you that it is nothing but India shining. Okay? This is the 7th concept which I want to talk to you about. See, it's very simple, right? Today, how many of you, a lot of you are into business, right? I don't want to ask a question, raise of hands. But a lot of you are into business. If you had to do a doubling of your turnover, and if you needed extra money for that, and if the interest rates went down, would you borrow more or not? It's a no-brainer. It's logical. If I'm borrowing at 10%, if the interest rates go down, if I can now borrow at 7%, of course I will borrow at 7%. In fact, my borrowing capacity goes up. I can borrow more. And because I can borrow more, I can invest more into my own business, into my production, into my capacity building, and I can make more profit for my business. And that way the business valuation also moves up. So, watch. Every time the interest rates go down, stock market goes up. Okay? Can you see that? Every time the stock, look at this. Okay, by the way, this is the stock market in blue, and orange mein, what you see is the interest rate. If the interest rates are going down, stock market is going up. Interest rates down, stock market up. Now, because this is like so many years, right? This is almost 22 years on your screen. But if you start looking, ये कहीं कहीं लगता है कि ये भी down जा रहा था, ये भी down जा रहा था. But if you expand it properly, then it will work out properly. ये सिर्फ compress किया हुआ है. 20 साल का data है आपके सामने. This is a reality. But now, there's something interesting. साल 2000, this was a different era. You remember liberalization which happened in 1991, and then 2000 was a different era that we came into. But 2000 से लेके आज तक, the interest rate has only been in this 4% to 8% band. Right? And this band is shrinking. As we are moving along, you see this band, ये इतना था, अब ये band थोड़ा सा shrink होते जा रहा है. We think this is the highest point right now. News is also proof. US Fed has postponed the 75 basis point hike. We've all seen that. We think the interest rates will go downwards again from here. 20 साल, 30 साल के बाद, we think it will go downwards. And because it goes downwards, imagine what happens there. it becomes cheaper to run a business, it becomes cheaper to borrow, and the market flies. Profits increase, markets fly. Markets are a slave of the profit, right? Valuation जो है, company का जो भाव है, is a complete slave of the profit. अगर profit बनेगा तो shares आगे चलेगा, profit नहीं बनेगा तो नहीं चलेगा. Simple. Profit का सबसे बड़ा contributor क्या होता है? Interest rate. अगर interest rate नीचे जाएगा, markets will go up. This is yet another calculation. I don't want to take you into the complexity of the calculation, but basically from 6% to अगर 3% का journey हो गया, we will probably hit something like 2-3 lakhs on the Sensex. This is the seventh reason why I think this is going to happen. So what's the roadmap? Very simple. For the last 30 years, the portfolios that I have seen, most of the portfolios are running between 14 to 18%. All the do-it-yourself portfolios run between them. Why? Because, you know, a lot of times we fail to identify emerging trends. Today, when we have a conversation amongst ourselves, some of us, you know, and a lot of you actually, who have companies in which we have invested, you will see you've not even heard those companies before. There are so many names that we have invested your portfolios into, you've not even heard about them. But that is the multiple opportunity available. These companies are growing at a phenomenal pace. Every quarter on quarter, they are growing at 30%, 40%. It's crazy. But our good old ITC, we are very happy to ITC तो है ही हमारे पास. ITC, Nestle, Britannia, ये तो हिंदुस्तान लीवर, ये तो हमारे पास हमेशा से थे. But if you invest in the new India, the kind of multiples that you will get in the next 5-10 years is crazy. And ये तो हम index की बात करें. Index moving there. If index moves there, the stocks will move way beyond. Because that is the potential for growth that we have in front of us. Right? There is demand. You know, equity demand is coming from quarters that it was not possible before. EPF का, मतलब सारी जगह पे interest rate जैसे जैसे नीचे जाता है, there is demand. आज इंश्योरेंस पॉलिसीज में भी 18%, चेतन भी जो बात करेंगे 18%, 20% इक्विटी का पोर्शन होता है, because they cannot give a investor 3% and 4%. You need to have better returns, otherwise we will not buy these products. So insurance policies are investing in equities. Employees Provident Fund, one of the biggest buyers of equities, is coming into equity. NPS for central government, everybody has to have an NPS account. They are investing into equities. These were things which were not happening before. Okay? And if you think FII is a big thing, well, let me very quickly run and show you something, okay, about FIIs. I just remembered it. Just look at it. Just look at the power of you and me. Look at the power that we have. Look at the FIIs. FIIs ने साल 2022 में 2,74 करोड़ का selling किया है, बिकवाली किया है. They are sellers. They are short on the market. Look at what domestic people have done. We have bought 2,63,000 crores of stocks. We have bought this much of equity. Now you tell me, can the FII change your market? For all of us who believe that FII is here, who's controlling the Indian market, just watch it. Look what's happening. On the left side is FIIs, on the right side is domestic investors, which is you and me. You and me who do ULIPs, who do mutual funds, who do PMS, who do AIF. This is our money. On that side they have sold, on this side we have bought. जितना उन्होंने बेचा हमने सब पी लिया. How will the markets fall? Okay, let's just come back. So there is a lot of demand happening. Of course, we have all these vehicles, stocks, AIF, mutual funds. I don't want to take so much of time any further because I think and I believe every day, I love to go to office every day because every day my only thought to myself is, आज किसके लिए कितना बनाना है? कौन से portfolio में क्या बना रहा है? I mean, where is the result? It is somewhere here. There he is. My first question as I'm walking into office, आज क्या हो रहा है? Because every day there is something happening. कभी ये 20% गया, कभी ये 5% हो गया, कभी down भी होता है. It's not, last calendar year has not been all that great. But from October 2021 to almost June, it was not so great. But June से जो शुरू हुआ है, it's actually changing the design. By March, I think it will change the design completely. So there's so much happening. It is a time you cannot afford to not bet on India. We are in it. We are in a journey from 2020 to 30. We are already 2 years done. But there is 8 years more. There is 8 years more. And if you lose these 8 years, so anyway, thank you for hearing me out.